Imagine being on a plane, thousands of feet in the air, when a life-threatening emergency happens right in front of you. A black woman urgently calls for help, but the flight crew ignores her. Seconds feel like minutes, and the tension is unbearable. Little do they know, the woman they're dismissing is the United States Surgeon General. What happens next will shock everyone on board, and it's a lesson no one will ever forget. It was supposed to be a routine flight, just another ordinary journey in the skies. Passengers were settling in. Flight attendants were walking up and down the aisles with their usual smiles and announcements. And the plane had just reached cruising altitude. Everything seemed calm, until one moment changed everything. In the middle of the cabin, a black woman raised her hand urgently. "Excuse me, I need help immediately," she called out, her voice calm, yet filled with authority. The flight attendants glanced at her, but instead of responding promptly, they hesitated, exchanged uncertain looks, and then walked past her. Some passengers noticed the unusual behavior and whispered among themselves. The woman wasn't just any passenger. She was the United States Surgeon General, the top medical authority in the country. Yet, at that moment, her identity was invisible to the crew. To them, she appeared like any other traveler. And in their hesitation to act, they were ignoring a life-threatening emergency. Nearby, a passenger was struggling to breathe. His face was pale, his hands shaking, and his lips turning blue. Panic began to ripple through the cabin, but the crew still hesitated. Time was ticking, and every second mattered. The Surgeon General, trained to handle critical situations under pressure, could sense the gravity of the moment. She leaned over to assess the passenger, checking his pulse and breathing, quickly realizing he was suffering from a severe allergic reaction. Adrenaline kicked in, but she knew staying calm was crucial. She tried again, explaining clearly, "There's a medical emergency. I need a first aid kit and your full cooperation immediately." But still, the crew seemed unsure, lingering as if unsure of whether to take her seriously. One flight attendant muttered under their breath, "Who does she think she is?" Passengers began noticing the tension. A mother clutched her child. A businessman checked his phone nervously, and murmurs of concern spread through the cabin. Some started wondering why the crew wasn't acting quickly, but nobody could have guessed that the person they were ignoring was a national medical leader. The woman's frustration grew, but she didn't let it show. She remained composed, professional, and focused on the patient. She knew that in emergencies, hesitation could cost lives, and she refused to let bureaucracy or ignorance get in the way. Realizing that waiting for the crew to act might be too risky, the Surgeon General stepped into full action. She instructed nearby passengers calmly but firmly, "Help me move him to an open seat. We need space. Check if anyone has an epinephrine auto-injector." With precision and authority, she began administering care. She guided passengers to assist her, explaining every step in simple terms: how to elevate the man's legs, how to monitor his breathing, and how to keep him calm. Within moments, the passengers' breathing stabilized slightly, and the panic in the cabin began to ease. Slowly, the flight attendants realized that this woman wasn't ordinary. They observed her confidence, her expert handling of the medical emergency, and the authority in her voice. Whispers started to circulate among them. "Wait, she knows exactly what she's doing. Could she be?" Then, the moment of realization hit. One of the attendants asked quietly, "Are you the Surgeon General?" She nodded, calmly continuing her work, almost as if it was routine for her to save lives under pressure. The crew, now aware of who she was filled with shock and embarrassment. The delay, the earlier dismissal, it all seemed unbearable in hindsight. As the emergency was brought under control, passengers began to understand the full story. They had witnessed an authority figure taking control in a situation where hesitation could have been disastrous. Phones came out, not for selfies, but to record and document the courage, professionalism, and skill they had just witnessed. The flight attendants approached her, awkward and apologetic. "We're so sorry for the delay, ma'am. We didn't realize," one stammered. The Surgeon General nodded, accepting the apology but emphasizing a lesson for everyone on board. In emergencies, every life matters. Never judge urgency based on appearance or status. Act immediately. Her calm and professional response left a lasting impression. The passengers cheered quietly, impressed by her composure under pressure. The crew, humbled and reflective, knew this incident would change the way they approached emergencies forever. By the time the plane landed, the story had spread like wildfire among passengers and soon reached social media. People were stunned, not just by the medical emergency, but by the blatant initial neglect. Many shared their outrage, calling attention to the bias that allowed such a lapse to happen. The incident sparked conversation nationwide, shining a spotlight on both the courage of the Surgeon General and the need for training and awareness in critical situations. This flight became more than just a story about a medical emergency. It became a lesson about respect, awareness, and the dangers of judging based on appearances. Passengers praised the Surgeon General not only for saving a life, but for her calm, authoritative presence that turned a potentially tragic situation into a moment of inspiration. The airline launched an internal investigation, improving their training protocols to ensure that no passenger would ever be ignored in the future. Staff learned the importance of recognizing urgency, competence, and authority in any form, and passengers left with a story they would never forget. For the Surgeon General, the event was a reminder of her responsibility to lead not only in hospitals and government offices, but anywhere her skills might be needed. Her professionalism, courage, and ability to act decisively under pressure left an indelible mark on everyone who witnessed the event. Passengers walked away with more than just relief. They walked away with awareness, humility, and respect. The incident reminded everyone that emergencies don't wait for recognition or titles. Lives depend on quick, decisive action, and sometimes the most extraordinary leaders can be invisible at first glance. This story, shared across social media and news outlets, became a symbol of resilience and competence, inspiring others to act with courage and urgency when faced with critical situations. And it left a clear message for all. Never underestimate anyone, and always take emergencies seriously, because every second counts. And that's the incredible story of how quick thinking, expertise, and courage turned a terrifying mid-flight emergency into a moment of inspiration. It's a powerful reminder that every second counts, and every life matters, no matter who you are. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss another unbelievable story. Share your thoughts in the comments. What would you have done in that situation? Thanks for watching, and stay inspired.